Astrology time, Shane here. So let's go. Moon and Aries, right? Let's talk about astrology. Let's talk about today's astrology, right? Yesterday's astrology was pretty darn good. Today, we start to get in the mud a little bit. We're starting to swim upstream just a bit. We've got Cardinal, the Moon in Aries, so it's in a Cardinal sign, and it's meeting up with Cardinal water with Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter in Cancer. And, you know, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter have one way of going about what they want to do, because cardinal signs are initiators, right? We've got the moon, so our mood is wanting to initiate something, but we have Neptune and Saturn, so those are kind of like outer planetary things, and they're in the same sign, but yesterday they were activated. So today we do come up with Saturn, and we do come up with the conjunction with Saturn. We do come up with a square on Mr. Uranus in Mr. Uranus. So we got some difficult stuff going on that we're looking at, and actually that squares with Mercury. I'm sorry, yeah, because Uranus is in the air sign, so that would be a sextile. So think about this. Think about what we're doing here. We got to start working on wrapping these things up. We gave you the hard deadline for the 13th for Saturday at 9:06 in the morning. And so that's where we're starting to move. Now, Mercury, if you're looking at the charts and stuff like that, Mercury's about 10 degrees away from Jupiter. He will never get there, okay? Jupiter's going to go into Leo before Mercury is retrograde and then starts going back through Cancer. This is not so much a missed opportunity as it is just, this near miss is close. It's close. But it's not going to be quite that full-on, Mercury just going for it, which is good because what's going to happen is that Jupiter's going to go into the next phase, into Leo, and that's where we're going to, see some stuff really start to happen. We've shored up our base and everything like that, and yesterday should have brought you, if not really good news, you should be somehow realize that you're moving in the right direction, okay? Whether you did something personally to take time for yourself, or you just got some word professionally that, hey, some plans are starting to come through and some of the things that you're wanting to do are starting to happen. Because that was the perfection of the Venus and Jupiter conjunction. So what we're talking about here is that, look, Cardinal Water prefers to win the hearts and minds of everyone through emotions. We're now leading with Venus, okay? So Venus things, right? What are Venus things? Well, Venus things are Taurus things, obviously, and Venus things are also Libra things, right? So we've got some balance, we've got some beauty, we've got some coupleness, togetherness, but you got to remember there's a slightly vindictive side of Libra. That's it's the sign of known enemies as well. So that house, that seventh house that it governs, contracts, and marriage is a contract, right? So it's a partnership, and once the contract's broken, that's a known enemy. I like pointing that out. But and then once that gets Aries' attention, yep, that's it, right? Opposites. The opposites always attract. So, look, initiating fire is that creative spark, right? It's not winning the hearts and minds. It's just putting it right into action, like doing it, right? Getting it out there, getting it down. So, look, Cardinal Water's job is to get everyone on board as if it was their own idea. Honestly, right? So, that's different, right? Aries and Libra are different. Libra's going to convince you with the ideas. Aries is just going to put it into action. Okay, cardinal signs. Capricorn, earthy. Just going to start digging in and getting it done too. Making sure all the work is there's some substance behind it before it starts to move forward, but it moves forward a little bit more cautiously than, say, like the air signs and the fire sign. So it's okay for Jupiter to let Saturn think that he has the last word here, because this is where things can get rocky, because intuition is very important, because that's part of that whole Cancer thing, right? And it needs to be acted upon, but we can't wait for others to complete our sentences for us. Okay, in other words, you can't sit back and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to just wait for somebody to get me. And that's not going to really happen. We have to choose the action for ourselves. And today's keyword is upstream. And if you ever seen a cutthroat salmon in the water, or even just a video of one, that's the color is the red on their throat, okay, just flashing in that silvery water. Now, the Gemini season presents us with options. Sometimes there's way too many of them, okay? Try looking at up a meaning of a tarot card, for example. The list just goes on and on and on. You know, it's just a list, and it's like, oh, this could mean this. Same thing with planetaries, you know, planets or signs or something like that. It's just a list. The placement and imagery suggested by the reader registers on the recipient and intuitively directs that reader to the appropriate interpretation. So basically, there's a little give and take between the person doing the reading and the person they're doing the reading for, and that's how that interpretation comes to the front, but it's done intuitively, right? So think about that, and he or she will intuitively direct the reader to an appropriate interpretation, perhaps with a little bit of give and take as well, right? Just to elicit something in their lives. That's an interesting way to look at it, because the cards to me to kind of tell a story, and it's very much like astrology, where astrology you take all the various aspects and stuff like that, and you start compiling stories out of it, especially for a day or something like that. So look, here we are at the crossroads of an approaching new moon. Now, it sounds like we're due for a visit from Hecate. The black moon Lilith, okay, so think about this. This is my mind. This is where my mind's going, okay? The black moon Lilith is separating in a trine from Saturn right now, okay? So that means Lilith is in Sagittarius, and so she's getting through Sagittarius, but Saturn is starting to move on, so we're seeing some movement there. Now, we know what we want and what we desire, because Lilith is one of those things, right? And it's not taking no for the answer. It's going outside of that authority to try to get what it is. This can empower. You know, this gives Saturn a new goal to try to get to that point, and we're working towards that point. We want expansive knowledge, and we want to go places. That's that Lilith in Sagittarius. In order to do that, we're going to need freedom. Now, the black moon is also approaching Pallas Athene. So Pallas Athene is an asteroid. It's in the asteroid, and it shows you how you solve problems. All right? And you defend your ideals, and you channel holistic or artistic focus into tangible results. So it's a very practical kind of thing. Well, you'd think that for Athena, right? The goddess of Athens. So that would be something to look at, because that would mean Athene is actually conjunct Saturn. So we've got some help in unexpected places, but you got to intuitively know that it's there. You have to intuitively know that it's not just Mercury going, you don't need words. You need the intuition. You need to know what it is that you're doing, how you're trying to address it, and then you go back through it, and this is how we're going to approach the problem. We're going to approach it from an intuitive side. We're not going to try to logic our way through it. We're going to be able to just say, okay, here we are. This is what we got. This is where we're going. And now, once that new moon hits in Gemini, you're going to be like, bam, now I have a new idea, and I'm going to go for it. But you're going to go for it very quickly, and it's going to be very Gemini rapidity. There's going to be a quickness to that you're, mercurial, right? Mercury is fast. Not now. It's starting to slow down for retrograde. So, now leave a clove of garlic at your doorstep and ask the stillness of the night for some freedom and for some guidance. Make sense? Right? We don't have to rely on our head or all those words that I just said. We just go out into the stillness and ask for guidance. Now, the moon in Aries can get impatient. Just like those words, right? This is a natural starting point. But what we need to do is realize that we need to start our older projects and prepare for the new direction that Venus is leading us in. Remember to make sure that you're not just closing out your creative threads, but you're also taking care of your normal business. All right? Because that's what's getting us there. That's what's getting us where we've got to go. That's what's giving us our freedom. Green energy. Now, get used to that. It says feeling slightly foggy and operating on this strangely intuitive level, because it's going to be here for a while. Get comfortable with it. You got to make peace with it. Okay, I mean, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Melissa here. You make peace with it, because what's going to happen is that you got to take some time for yourself and just recalibrate. Take your shoes off. Go walk in the grass. Ground yourself. Go to the ocean or something like that. Let the water wash over your feet. Walk in the sand. It's got to help, right? Now, follow your instincts is going to be our summer mantra. Okay, we need to do this. Follow our instincts and take care of ourselves. It's like we're going to have to force our minds to be in vacation mode, beginning right about now. So, our last aspect is the moon in Aries, sextile the sun in Gemini. It's going to be hard for many to accept the ideas that are coming in Gemini and to find which ones are going to be the right ones to hold on to. And honestly, there will be more than a few. Options will seem to paralyze rather than set us free. And there's one escapable conclusion about the rest of the week. It really won't matter that Venus is in the lead or if Mercury is stuck in Cancer until August. That's not going to really matter. The sun and moon, they're never retrograde. Okay? So the seasons are going to continue to move on, whether you want them to or not. They're going to keep moving on. Mercury may be retrograde and we're stuck in this pattern until August, but the machinery, the mechanism behind it, keeps on moving forward. What you finish this week is going to be your new normal. Where you're at and where you get to by finishing the things that you need to do, your new normal. Now let's see what Spirit chooses to show us for the next new normal, that next phase after the new moon in Gemini. So in 1947, Saab, the vehicle manufacturer, produces his first automobile. They don't produce them anymore. What do you know? Okay? Fighter jets and defense technology. That's all they do now. They've got out of the automotive business. And our birth is in 1803. It's Henry Darcy. He's a French hydraulic engineer who's famous for Darcy's Law. Now, he's born in Dijon, France, and he died in 1858. So 1803 to 1858. So the law describes the flow of a fluid through a porous medium. That's the best way I can tell you about that. Let's recap because this is long. Okay, our color is this red on a cutthroat salmon, and today's keyword is upstream. Gonna feel like you're swimming a little bit upstream, and it's okay. That's normal. Get used to it. And that is all I have for you. Today comes in at a 5, because it's gonna be hard for some of us to swim upstream. Happy astrocatting.